So I was just told at work that they were going to get rid of my position. And so I hobbled home to tell my wife, who was about 3 months pregnant with our second child. And I say hobbled because I'd recently gotten over ACL surgery. But that might have been the lowest point of my life. I remember thinking I just kind of wanted to give up and not really try things anymore because I'd been beaten up. I thought my wife would cry with me, and that wasn't the case. She pointed right at me and said, "You know what? It's time for change." I didn't marry a complainer. I'd been complaining quite a bit about my life, about my job, about just circumstances in general. And that might have been the best day of my life. That was the day that I decided to change. I had wanted to change before, but it never really stuck. And so the difference this time was that I actually called a life coach friend of mine. Now with my newfound desire for change and my life coach friend, he taught me a proven, repeatable process for change, concrete steps, and my life has never been the same. After years of being taught this proven, repeatable process, I decided to take the next step and become certified as a coach myself, and that's what I do now. My client's dream was shattered. He had recently gotten rejected from the university of his dreams overseas, and he had to come back here to America to go to a community college, and he had to take a low-paying job that had nothing to do with IT. He was so frustrated, and he told me he just felt like the universe was telling him that he couldn't live a life of his dreams. Luckily, he had enough hope that he came and talked to me again, and so we brainstormed, we put together a plan of how he was going to get to where we wanted to be. And so we did just that. We decided that he was going to work every night on finding ways that the company he worked for could save time or money on the IT side of things. And it felt like a grind at the time. I was following up a lot. He was finding different ways. And what do you know, a short 6 months later, he was named the director of IT for the company that he worked for. And now he actually teaches at a college IT things, whatever IT things are. He writes curriculum for universities all over the country, and he's living his dream. And it gives me so much joy that I could be a small part, a helping hand in him living his dream. That's why I do what I do. So let's talk about fear. What is fear holding you back from right now? Truth is, we all have fear. Quite frankly, if you're living a life without fear, you're living a very, very boring life. Even if you've ever experienced greatness in your life, you've experienced fear. The question is, how can we not experience fear? The question is, how can we befriend our fear? Fear doesn't mean that we can't do something, it just means we haven't yet. Now, luckily, there are 3 great ways to manage your fear. The first step is to focus on your vision. The clearer your vision becomes, the more fear seems to fade. The second is to visualize success. Instead of asking yourself what could go wrong, let's ask what could go right. The third is to simply take action. Let's practice doing one difficult thing that maybe you fear a week. The more and more you practice that, the better it is that you'll manage your fear. So there's some ideas of how to manage your fear. If you'd like a deeper dive, come and join us for our free Vision Workshop webinar. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about our 12 steps to dream building. If that interests you, go ahead and click the link below.